It's yet another wonderful time on the show, Community Business, brought to you by Community Updates. My name is William Suzumba, and today on the program, yet again, we're going to be talking business. And I know you're already wondering who the business brand we shall be talking with today is. Well, don't worry. After this timeout, I shall be unveiling my guest for today. You're watching Community Business, and we shall be right back after the short break. Welcome back to the show, Community Business, brought to you by Community Update, and I still remain your humble host, William Suzumba. I did tell you that today on the program, we are yet again going to be talking about one amazing business doing well in this part of the world. And my brand today on the program is no other than the founder and brain behind the brand known as Michnat, and that's no other person than Fumi Odeni. Fumi.
Thank you for having me here.
You're welcome. Now, Fumi, as is customary on this show, I usually start by going by the proverbial word of allowing my guests do the honors of reintroducing themselves, so to speak. So, for clarity's sake, let the viewers back home know who you are.
Okay, thank you. I'm happy to let them know. My name is Fumi, and I am the owner of Michnat Fashion, the owner and the creative director of Michnat Fashion. Apart from being the owner and the creative director of my brand, I'm also a mother of 4 beautiful kids, a wife,
Nice.
and I'm also more of a community ambassador, pushing for youth to do what they love. So I kind of collaborate with some organizations like the Halifax Library, the Macphail Creative Center, to kind of help those youths develop their passion in the area of fashion. I also volunteer. I'm also a member of board of Craft Nova Scotia and also Africadian Empowerment Academy.
That's nice.
I mean, fashion is something I've always loved as a young girl. I started making my outfit at the age of 10.
Ah, interesting.
So, without conceptualizing where it will lead to, and I'm happy that today, this eventually led to me becoming a business owner.
That's great. Now, for me, even before the show started, we're chit-chatting about the way Nova Scotia as a society as a whole is growing. I mean, last year, 2022, it was voted as one of the fastest growing economy in this part of the climate. Now, how does it feel seeing that you as an individual have a brand that is already making a household name for itself?
It makes me feel great, and I see it as I see Nova Scotia as a green land. It's a place where you can easily grow. Like when I started, for instance, let me take you back to when I started. When I started, even though I've always loved fashion, and when I was coming, I was like, I want to do something around my passion. When we came in, I couldn't do that, immediately. But, I then had to do a little research, before I launched out. And I saw that, the fashion industry wasn't diverse. And I decided to focus more on Afrocentric, So that gave me it's more like I was a pioneer. People easily knew about me. I have friends in other places like US, reaching out to me, and they're like, how did you do it? I'm like, the only thing I knew I did was starting in Nova Scotia and the support I got. I see that it would be different if I had started in somewhere like Toronto. Do you understand? When I started here, people were like, oh, your prints are so beautiful.
Nice.
Your design.
Nice.
So I see this place as, like you said, it's growing, and it's a privilege to be starting from
Beautiful.
here.
I like the angle I like the comment you just made, which will necessitate my next line of questions. Let's go back to the basis.
Yeah.
The name, Michnat. How did that name come about? I mean, it's always very important to know the story behind the name of every brand we hear out there. So let's hear yours.
So my name actually came from my kid's name. It's a combination of my children's name.
Okay.
So I have Mitchell, I have Nathaniel, I have Aaron, and I have Tom. So it's a combination of their names. Initially, it was just a combination of 2 kids, which is the third and the last.
Okay.
Now, I was just sitting that day sewing, and I was like, I need a name for my brand. Because when I had my daughter, that was when I got the idea to move to Nova Scotia. That was when, to Canada. you know, that gave me the push. Then my son, when I was on maternity, gave me the lead to start a business.
I see.
So I was like, okay, these two people kind of made me actualize my dream. So the name came from them.
Okay.
So when the other two, the first two were like, why won't you put us, then I slot them in. So yeah.
That's great. That's quite a story.
Yeah.
That's quite a story. Now let's talk a bit more about what the brand itself does. What are your services? What are your core services? What do you do?
Michnat Fashion is an Afrocentric clothing brand. I
Okay.
infuse African print into designs to create contemporary feels. And, you know, the reason is I want people to see that we can make luxury designs from African print.
I see.
You know, you see people wearing African print and they can't even think that we can make luxury design from it. So my idea is for them to see how versatile African print is and how we can make different design from it. And also the core of my business is helping people to live their dream.
Okay.
Like, be true to who they are. You can be who you are. You don't have to wear other people. You know,
True.
that's why I said my slogan is we help people bring their fashion dream to life. Be yourself. Be true to who you are. This is who you are. You love blazers. Wear blazers. This is
Yeah.
who you are. You love this. Wear it. You don't have to go to the store and wear what everybody is wearing. You don't have to follow the fashion trend.
Agree.
You can
Agree.
live your dream. So yeah.
That's good. Now, can you tell us some of the kind of fabrics? I mean, fabrics makes the design eventually. Can you tell us some of the fabrics, the kind of fabrics you have in your brand?
I use African print, which is the
Okay.
core of my business. If you see my logo, it was done in African print. So, but I work with all fabrics.
Oh, I
because
see.
right now we do prom dresses, we do wedding dresses. Those dresses you need different. I work with tulle, I work with chiffon, I work with all fabrics.
Oh, nice. Let's talk a bit more about the acceptability. How would you rate the acceptability since you started this brand? At least
my.
here in this part of Canada. How's
That
it been?
is a good question. Because when I started,
Yeah.
like I said, one of the challenge was that nobody was doing it. So it was more like a Greenland for me. But yeah, one of the challenge was the fact that it was new to a lot of people.
True.
And people here are being careful. They don't want to overstep their boundary. So they, I had that question of cultural appropriation a lot. Even though, I came in, I didn't know what cultural appropriation is until I started hearing, then I had to do my own research. Yeah, I got that a lot when I started. But the amazing thing is people in Nova Scotia are very they are amazing people. They are good people. They are open-minded. They just need to know that it's okay for them to wear it. So the moment they know that it's okay for them to wear it, then they accept it.
I see.
So yeah, and I've had amazing support from people that really help push the brand. Really,
that's nice. That's nice. So for me, let me even ask this question: at what point in life did you tell yourself, "Look, I think this is the next chapter. This is the next thing I would like to do"? Can you tell us a bit more about your background and when you decided to take that giant leap into fashion?
Okay.
As a business life.
Okay. My background is accounting. I'm a trained accountant. I had over a decade of experience in the financial industry.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I'm a chartered accountant.
Nice.
But because fashion is something I've always loved, even when I was working back home, I remember one of those days, my supervisor, I wore one of my designs to work.
Okay.
And she was like, "Who made this?" I was like, "I did that." And she was like, "What are you doing here?"
What are you doing here?
Do you understand? But it didn't ring a bell. I mean, back home, I wouldn't even think of it.
Yeah.
But when we decided to move, and I knew that we are coming to a place that is totally new to us, I told myself, I can as well push my passion, test the water with my passion.
True.
But we came here and, I couldn't start. It wasn't something I could jump on because just like, you come here and you face those challenges of being an immigrant and all that. But I'll tell you, fashion is something I've always loved.
Okay.
That is why when I eventually decided during my maternity leave, when I had my son, when I then decided to push it, that was when I told myself, I'm going full time. Because I was like, okay, I'm going to resign and focus on this. When I eventually decided to go into it, I had no fears.
I see.
Like, I remember the last day I resigned from work, and one of my colleagues, they were like, you're looking so excited, you're happy. This is me. I knew nothing about where I was going into.
Are you serious?
I knew nothing. Like, I don't have business background. I have not tested the water. But what I had was passion.
Passion. Let me even take you on that word, because this word is that word passion. How important, how fundamental is passion to an idea?
I think passion is really very important in the sense that it's more like it's the fuel that keeps the car running.
Yeah.
There are days that I just want to keep going, and my husband will be like, babe, your eyes are red, you need to sleep.
You need to sleep.
I don't get tired because I'm passionate about this.
Yeah.
Tell me to come watch movie with you, and the next minute I'm sleeping. Like, I'm there, I am gone. Tell me to do other things, I am tired, I am gone. But with passion, I keep going.
Keep going.
So that is where, and you know, when you're passionate about things, there are downtime. Let me not lie to people. Let them know the real truth. There are times that you ask yourself, is this really worth it? What am I doing? But how you know that is your calling, how you know that is what you're meant to do, is that you will go back to that thing.
True.
There are times that I'll be like, oh no, why am I doing this? My kids are like, Mommy, why? You're not happy today. And the next minute, I'm taking fabric, I'm cutting fabric, I'm on the sewing machine, going. So yeah, passion will keep you going.
Keep you going.
And it will get you there.
It's beautiful you're saying this, because and you see me smiling. I'm smiling because, interestingly, my mom is she's also a fashion designer.
Oh, nice.
And I especially when you started talking about you not sleeping, I had a minute of flashback. I remember those good old days as a young lad, seeing my mom stay up late in the night, working, because she had her shop at the same, we were privileged to have our own personal house back then, so she had her shop in the same compound. So at a number of occasions, my dad would forcefully get up and go tell her, woman, shut this business down and go to bed. So so when you're saying relating your own experience, it resonated to me, the same idea of how passion would drive you to excel. So I totally buy into what you're saying. And I still have a few more questions to throw your way, but at this point in time, I think we'll go on a quick break.
Okay.
And when we come back, I'll throw my remaining questions to you before we call today's program a wrap. After this short break, when we come back, I still have few more questions for Fumi before we call today's program a wrap. So please stay tuned, don't go nowhere. We shall be right back after this time out. You're watching Community Business. We shall be right back. Welcome back to Community Business, brought to you by Community Update. I still remain your humble host, William Suzomba. And today on the program, I still have my guest, Fumi Odeni, the brain and founder behind the brand Michnat Fashion. Fumi, welcome back to the second half of today's interview. And I must say that the conversation has been insightful.
Absolutely.
It has even taken me back memory lane, remembering the good old days with my dear mom.
Yes, that's a good one.
Okay, now Fumi, how would you rate the SME community here? Coming as an immigrant from a country like Nigeria, coming down here to set up a business, how would you rate the business community with focus on small businesses here in Nova Scotia?
I think the business community is growing. When I started, there were few people doing it. Okay. I have the likes of Joyce Adam. She's the owner of Simply Go Natural. Yeah, I had her, and she was always like, for me, you can do this. There were a few people doing it, but right now we have a lot of people. Especially with the pandemic. I think a lot of people rediscovered themselves. And they launched out. So it's growing. It's a growing community, and like they said, small business is more like the pillar of every economy. So yeah, I see Nova Scotia is not exempted. Is growing,
see more things.
And we get the support from government. Like you get those support, even from members of the community.
Oh, that's
the
good.
Support is so
That's good, because
amazing.
I actually wanted to ask
Yeah.
what you think. Are there some areas you personally feel the government itself can assist some more?
Yeah, absolutely, they can do better. For me, my business has always is all self-funded, all self-funded. Although what I did was I participated in a lot of pitch competition that I won some money.
Okay.
So I wish I reinvested back into the business. But yeah, I think the government can do more in the area of, grants, and I think they are doing that. Basically, I'm not looking into the information to really tap into that.
Okay.
So let me not say they are not doing that right
good.
now.
Let's talk a bit about your team. How important is it for a business, especially a starting business? How important is it for such a business to have a formidable team?
I won't downplay the role of having a team. So before now, when I started my business in 2020, I was doing it all by myself. I was the seamstress, I was the dispatch rider, I was the customer service, I was everything until just about 2 months ago.
Okay.
When I decided to, I spoke with my consultant and he was like, Fumi, you're overwhelmed. Like, you have a lot going on. I think it's high time you get someone. So I got someone, and I would say having that person in my corner opened my eyes up in a lot of ways. Like I said, I was passionate about this thing. So when I started, I wasn't even charging what I should be charging. I was more like doing like a charity work. Because it's something I love. Like, just tell me you have an outing and I'm there to get that outfit ready.
Set you up.
Just tell me. Don't even pay me. We will talk about money later. But now that I have a team, I have a staff, I know now I'm responsible for other people.
True.
So that helped me in terms of structure.
Become more disciplined.
More discipline.
No
more charity. Now you're working. You have to get paid. Even though I have to pay people, but I think it's totally worth it. You can't do everything by yourself.
Great.
For you to grow, you need to have a team.
You need to delegate.
You need to have a team. And it's so important to have a team of people that are also passionate about what you do.
Like minds.
Like minds.
That's true.
That will help you push the brand. Because if you have someone that is not ready, that is not, I got someone and she wasn't really saying what I'm saying.
The big picture.
She had to leave herself, But I have 2 other wonderful people that are still with me.
Great.
That's
great stuff.
It's so important to have a team. So important. Yeah.
That's great stuff. Now, for me, let's talk a bit now about drive and motivation. Where and how do you think you draw your inspiration and motivation to keep moving, to keep forging ahead against all odds?
I would say one, I am someone that is very resilient. Very, very resilient. I don't believe in failure. I believe that if this person can make it, I can make it. And I go on social media, I see those designers making waves, and I tell myself, I can do
this.
I can do it. I just need to keep pushing. And I know one day I'll get there. Not to say that there are times you don't feel down. So it's looking at those people and telling yourself. So it has to, your motivation and drive has to first of all come from you. People won't push you. You have to push yourself.
Push yourself first.
So I'll say I push myself and I tell myself, it's better to think that you can do it than if you fall, you fall. But just have that mindset that you can.
Oh, that's good. Michnat, fashion. Where do you want to see your brand say in the next 3 to 5 years?
In the next 25 years? That's a long time.
3 to 5. Let's leave 25 years for now. 3 to 5 years. Where would you want to see the brand?
I want to see the brand grow bigger than this. From when I started in 2020 till now, I see the growth. Okay. So I want to see it grow bigger.
Bigger than this.
Yeah.
Not bad. Now, on a final note, what will be your words of advice and encouragement to similar like minds, either trying to go the same route or even do some other things and they are still fidgeting within their mind? Yeah. What will be your final words of advice to them?
My final word of advice will be that they should do it. They can do it. And they should know that Rome wasn't built in a day.
True.
So you have to you have to be consistent.
Yeah.
For people to trust you, you have to be consistent. So you don't do it in 1 week and give up. You have to give it a long rope. And everybody's timing is different.
Yeah.
Some people can do it for 1 day
And break.
Maybe you're destined to do it for 1 month, 1 year. Just
Before you
keep
get to a
pushing.
break.
But the main thing is you will see the growth and define growth by yourself. Don't use other people as yardstick to define your growth. Like I tell you, I have seen growth. So if I'm looking at other designers, I will definitely tell myself, no, Fumi, you're not growing. I mean, I'm still in my basement. I don't have a storefront. But I see the growth.
Yeah.
I don't use other people as my yardstick. So don't use other people as your yardstick. Be consistent and keep pushing. You will get there.
Well said. Well, for me, it's been great having you on the show today, and I've learned a thing or two from your story, and I want to believe all the folks watching today's episode of the program too would have learned a thing or two. We'll continue to monitor your brand, and from time to time when the need arises, we invite you back to the show. I hope you won't be a stranger then.
Absolutely no.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, viewers, you've heard it all from my guest today, Fumi Odeni, the brain and founder behind the brand known as Michnat Fashion. I mean, what a conversation we've had. Remember, you can always watch the post-production of today's interview on our YouTube page. Continue to follow us on all our social media handle, community update, to watch not just this interview, but all the other numerous content we bring your way. I still remain your humble host, William Suzumba, until we come your way same time with yet another wonderful guest on the program. Continue to stay positive. I mean, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. So what are you waiting for? Take that step today, and who knows, you might be the next business that we shall be interviewing on this program. Stay safe, guys. Bye for now.